Dear students, uh, good day. You must have seen till now that from the second module, most of the points we have covered, and this is the last module of the topic which we need to cover, that is the method of section. Till now, we have seen the difference between the machines and the frames, analysis of simple trusses, then the beams and its supports, types, how it is calculated, the different types of beams and its reactions. Like that, we have worked out a good number of numericals. And now, coming back to this last topic of the module, let us see that how this method of section is applied. So, first thing is that this method is used when the forces in selected members of a loaded truss to be find out. In comparison of the method of points, we have seen that when we have to find out the forces in all the members, we apply the method of joints. In fact, we apply the conditions of equilibrium on each of the joints separately, and we find out the forces in all the members of the truss. But when there are suppose very large number of members in a particular frame or truss, and we need to find out the forces in particular members, then we can apply this method of section in a meaningful way. This method was offered by German professor August Ritter in 1863. The following points to be considered while applying this method. The section should be passed through the members and not through the joints. A section should divide the truss into two clearly separate and unconnected parts. The section should cut mostly three members, since only three unknowns can be determined from the conditions of equilibrium. Now we have seen that for solving the forces, we resolve the inclined forces, inclined member into vertical and horizontal components. Then we apply the conditions of equilibrium, right? Isn't it? And then we apply the conditions like vertical forces summation is 0, and summation of all the forces in the horizontal direction is 0. And then we apply the condition for the moment by taking bending moment at a particular point as 0. So in this way, by getting that, we can get the three simultaneous equation, and like that we can get the three unknowns out of these by solving these three simultaneous equation. So by keeping all that knowledge in our mind, we have to do the section in a meaningful way to find out the particular force member. So let us see an example related to the same. Determine the value of the force W, which would produce a force of magnitude 150 Newton in the member AB of the cantilever truss as shown in figure. Determine the forces in the members EF and EA of the truss. So by the observation and from the statement of the problem, it is given that the equal load is applied on this joint B and C, and this is cantilever, so it is fixed support. It is supported at this point, and this part is hanging. And we are supposed to find out the value of the forces in member EF, value and nature as well, and the member EA. Whereas the force in member AB, it is given as a magnitude of 150 Newton. So based on this, let us try to solve this problem by applying the method of section. So keeping in mind the different points about to take the section, let us take the section 1-1 like this. Here we have kept in mind all the points like that. It is cutting by making two separate clearly visible parts. Then we have taken the section such that it is passing through the three members. And since we have to find out the forces in these two members, it is obvious that our section is passing through those members to minimize the steps. So now one thing is there, students kindly keep it in mind. After taking the section, we have to consider either the left part or the right part of the figure. And while drawing the free body diagram, we are supposed to highlight or draw that part which we don't consider by the dotted lines. I hope you have understood this. So the part which we are considering it should be drawn with the full lines, whereas the part which we are not considering, it should be shown as the dotted line. So in this way the diagram should be drawn and then the nature of forces should be assumed. So like that we have taken the section and we will proceed to solve the problem. Now here to find out the force AB, consider the right part of the section 1-1. So here we are considering the right part of the section 1-1, that's why this part should be drawn as a dotted one. And then take the moment about point E. Now taking moment about a particular point, that is also tricky thing, that we have to take a moment such around such a point that maximum unknowns are eliminated into that. Keeping in that point, if we take moment about this point E, automatically this member EF and EA, which are unknown to us, those will be eliminated and we can get the value of only one unknown, and that too W. So by applying the conditions of equilibrium and taking the moment about point E, we get here as the W into 3 plus W into 9 is equal to PAB into 4. This force in the particular member, you can either denote it by P or you can denote it by F. It depends on the notation in a particular book you are referring. So you can even denote it as, often we are denoting F suffix the member name. In this way we get the value of W by solving it as 50 kilonewton. Here you can observe the perpendicular distance from this each of this W from this point E about which we are taking the moment, and also the sense whether it is the clockwise bending moment and the anti-clockwise bending moment about the particular member and the particular distance out of that vertical distance out of that. So by solving the problem we get the value as W is equal to 50 kilonewton. Now replacing the same value of W and moving further to find out the forces in this member EF, consider the right part of the section and take moment about A. Now here the tricky part is that this part is the cantilever one, and here if you see that vertical horizontal reaction as well as the moment will be involved. So we have to consider the right part or left part in the meaningful way so that we can get the minimum number of unknown to solve the problem. So here when we are considering the right part and taking the moment about point A, again we can see here this inclined member, its line of action is passing through it, so it will be omitted automatically and we will get here the only one unknown, and that is force in member EF. So in this way force in member EF we can find out by applying the condition of equilibrium. So what we are getting here, the equation that FEF or PEF into 4 is equal to W into 6 plus W into 12. This is nothing but the perpendicular distance is again from the line of action of the forces W acting at the point B and C respectively, right? And the vertical distance of this particular member EF, which is 4 meter from the geometry of the figure. And by considering the sense whether it is tensile or compressive, we can apply the bending moment sign. So here force in member EF we are getting as the 225 kilonewton, and we have considered it as the compressive one, which we are getting the positive sign, means our convention sign convention assumption is correct and that we can uh, take further. So by considering that point into mind, let us again try to find out the force in other member, which is AE. The AE is the inclined member. So to find out the force in member AE, consider the right part of the section 1-1 and resolving it vertically. What we get for vertical forces, here we have this W, two forces of W and the vertical component of EA. Since this member EF and AB are perfectly horizontal, so we have only one unknown, that is force in member EA, and that is value after solving it we get it as 125 kilonewton. Here again simple geometry, we must be strong in the fundamentals of the geometry, how to calculate the angles from the given length of the members. So here we get the value of EA as 125 kilonewton, and that is also tensile which we have assumed, and we are getting the sign as positive. So our assumption is correct regarding this as well. So in this way we have found out the forces in member EF is equal to 225 kilonewton and the nature is compressive, and the force in member EA is 125 kilonewton and that its nature is tensile. So in this way we can apply the method of section when we have to find out the particular force, member and nature. Now for considering the next part, consider more making more fundamental applying for, this method of section. Let us consider another problem. Here we have again famous example of our 7-member truss. We have solved this similar problem by applying the method of joint. So you are well familiar with the problem. Uh, we have to find out the axial force in the member D. In the particular only one member D, horizontal member, we have to find out the force and by applying the method of section. Now again here we have the truss. You can see it is symmetrical in shape. So it is up to you that how you are taking the section. You can take the section like this, or even you can take the section in the other direction as well. Considering that the force where we have to find out the that member it is involved. So here we can take the section like this. So let us consider one by that. Before applying the section, let us try to find out this reaction RA and RC. So here by considering the whole truss and applying the condition of equilibrium at sigma Fy is 0, we get here that Ra plus Rc is equal to this 2 plus 4, that is 6 kilonewton. Again applying the another condition that taking bending moment at point A or C, we can find out the rest of the reaction. So here taking bending moment at point A, applying, we get the three forces, that is 2 kilonewton and it is creating the clockwise bending moment. Similarly this 4 kilonewton, it is creating the clockwise bending moment, and this force reaction RC, it is creating the anti-clockwise moment. And considering the perpendicular distance from each of these forces from the point reference point A and writing the equation for bending moment, we get here the value of RC as 3.5 kilonewton. Now from this equation number 1, if we replace the value of RC, we will get the value of RA, and that is equal to 2.5 kilonewton. So in this way we have find out the value of RA and RC. And let me revise all the points again, that the section should be passed through the members and not through the joints, which we have considered already. The section should divide the truss into two clearly separate and unconnected parts. The section should cut mostly three members, since only three unknowns can be determined from the conditions of equilibrium. Now, moving further to solve our problem. Now I am considering the section as passing through this point uh, like this and cutting the members D, DB and AB as shown in the figure. Now here bending moment is taken on this point to the opposite to the section, and here we are taking the bending moment at the opposite to the section, that is the we are considering the left part, we are considering this part, and we are taking the bending moment at a particular point. Now again, as I told, that we have to select the point such a way that we are omitting most of the unknowns to find out only a single unknown. So here taking the bending moment at point B, we can see that at point B the line of action of this member DB is passing as well as AB is passing. So only the remaining unknown is D, and that is how writing the equation for bending moment by calculating the perpendicular distance of each of the members and considering the signs whether it is the clockwise or anti-clockwise. Since we are considering the left part only this 2 kilonewton will be in consideration. So we get the value of f of d as 1.73, and the value, by considering our assumption, we are getting it as negative. So when we are assuming as a tensile member and we are getting the negative value, it means that we have to reverse the sign and we have to reverse the signs as well. So we are getting the nature as 1.73 magnitude and the nature as compressive one. So force in the member FDE is 1.73 compressive. Negative sign means our assumption regarding the nature of force is wrong. It means that it has to be altered. So coming to the next member dB, let us see how we can solve it. Again here applying the condition of equilibrium, since we are considering the left part only. We have here the horizontal member D and horizontal member AB and the horizontal component of this member dB. So writing that down the equation and giving it number 1. And similarly for writing down the equation in all the forces vertical direction, we have here this reaction RA, then the reaction 2 kilonewton in the vertical direction and the vertical component of this force dB. So in this, while writing the vertical reaction, we can observe that only dB is the unknown, and we get the force in member dB as 0.577 kilonewton. Since we are getting the positive sign, our assumption tensile we have assumed that is correct. Similarly, then replacing this value of dB in this equation number 1, we get at or d already we have calculated from the previous condition. We get the value of f of AB as 1.44 kilonewton, and that is again tensile we have assumed, and our assumption is correct. So in this way we have found out both the unknown forces in member AB as well as DE. Now next very important point, dear students, that how to identify the zero force member. Here these are the conditions. If we keep it in mind those conditions, then it will be easy for us to identify the zero force member. First condition is if two collinear members form a truss joint and no external load or support reaction is applied to the joint, then two members must be zero force member. So suppose there are two members like this which are not collinear and there is no force acting at their particular joint, then these two members we can say as those are the zero force member. Similarly, when the if three members form a truss joint for which two of the members are collinear, then the third member is non-zero member provided no external force or support reaction is applied at that joint. So suppose we have a truss like this and this is the joint, suppose members acting like that. So for this particular joint, you can see this member and this member are the collinear member, and at this particular joint there is no force acting on that. So we can say that these two members highlighted with this blue color are the zero force member, right? So these are the criteria to keep it in mind that how we are identifying the zero force member. Let us try to see some beautiful problems related to this. This is one of the problems that we have to identify the members in which are not carrying any force. Now, by seeing our first condition as the zero force member, here you can see that this member uh, F, F5 and F6, those are the collinear member, isn't it? And here the particular joint is there, this joint, and the joint D is there. C and D, these are the two joints. Whereas at this joint E, there is force is acting. So by considering this 3 points in mind, we can say that since these forces F1 and F2 are collinear, that's why this force F3 is 0. Similarly, this force F5 and F6 are collinear, so this force F5 is 0. Sorry, F4 is 0. So we have this 0 force member as F3 and F4 in the particular truss. Similarly, in this particular vertical truss, we can see that to identify the 0 force member, here again there are number of members and number of joints are there. By identifying the condition of forces, here we can see that this force is acting vertically. So obviously it will act on this all these member, whereas at this side there is no force carrying member any joint. So all the members beside these three members are the forces which are not carrying any force. So in this way, except these three members BD, BF and FH, all the members are the zero force members. So reaction at B is vertical. So force members are only these three members, right? The rest of the members are zero force members. Now we will see this method of section, how it is applied, dear students, for the solving this three member truss. We have already analyzed the similar problem by the method of joints. Now let us see how we can apply the method of section for this. To determine the forces in member AC and AB, we have to apply the method of section for this particular problem. Now again, before moving to the actual members, again here there are two reactions so which we have to find out. So let us find out the reactions first. So taking moment at point A so that we can eliminate this reaction at A and we can get the value of RB. So here we get the value of RB as 7.5 since the point load is acting here in the downward direction 30 kilonewton. Then applying the second condition, that is resolving the forces in the vertical direction, we get the equation as RA plus RB is equal to 30 kilonewton. If we try to write down, so we get it here RA plus RB is equal to 30 kilonewton. And by solving that, replacing the value of RB, we get the value of RA as 22.5 kilonewton. After finding out the value of RA and RB, now we have to take the section. Now taking the section at 1,1, okay, that point 1,1 like this, and considering the equilibrium of the left part of the truss. So the right part is to be dotted. Taking moment at point B, since we are considering the left part moment and taking the moment at the opposite point here B, what we get here, if you observe here, if we take the moment here, then automatically this member will not be there because their line of action is passing through B, and only the perpendicular member, this AC member, remains there, from where the perpendicular distance from the geometry of the figure is 4.33 meter. So by writing the equation for the bending moment, we get here summation of bending moment at point B is 0. That is equal to RA into the distance AB, perpendicular distance. Similarly, R force in the member AC, this component of this member, and the perpendicular distance BC, right? This distance BC. So replacing the value of RA and this BC, this distance, what we get here, only AC is the unknown, and we get the value of AC as 22.98 kilonewton, and we have assumed here the sense compressive one. Let me revise that how we have put the sense here in the beginning while applying the method of joints. That since this reaction is vertical here, in order to balance it, we need a downward force here, which we can apply, which we can get by applying this force as a downward direction, so that it will have two components. One will be towards left facing and one will be downward facing. So in this way, by this we can balance these two forces, and remaining horizontal component we can balance. This component we can balance by giving this member as the direction towards right. So in this way, if we assume it meaningful way, then we get the correct sign. Otherwise, we need to revert the sign. So by applying the next condition and by taking the moment at point C, uh, by applying the condition of equilibrium at point C, we get here sigma m at point C is equal to Ra into the perpendicular distance, this distance from this point. Here I have redrawn it for you people. Kindly keep it in mind the trigonometry. We get this distance as 1.25 meter vertical distance. Uh, Similarly, for this force FAB, the perpendicular distance is AC sine 60. So this perpendicular distance, uh, this we can easily find out by applying the geometry of the figure. So replacing those value, we get the value of FAC as 22.98 kilonewton. And since we have assumed it compressive nature and we are getting the positive sign, students, our assumption is correct. Now, taking moment at point C, and that is what we have already applied this condition, and solving it again, we get the value of FAB as 22.99, and that too compressive nature. So for both these members, our assumption for the nature, it is correct. For AC, we have assumed as compressive and it is correct. And for AB also, it is tensile, which we are getting the positive sign. Now let us try to find out the force in other member BC. So here I am considering the section 2 to determine the force in member BC, and I am considering the right part of that. Now I am considering the right part, so taking moment about point A, we left with only unknown BC, and writing the equation for the moment, what we get here, that the force in member RB into the perpendicular distance from this point A, that is AB. Similarly, the component of this force in member BC and the perpendicular distance from this point AB. So this, by putting down all the values, we get here the unknown force, that is FBC, and we get the value as compressive nature. Since it is positive, our consideration for the nature is correct. Now we have this another problem, gate problem. We can see here a truss, it is having consisting a horizontal member AC and CD, and DB and EF, and a vertical member CE and DE having the length L each. The members AE, DE and BF are inclined at 45 degree to the horizontal, and this UDL, uniformly distributed load, is given students P per unit length for the member EF. And we are supposed to find out the value of the force in the member CD in terms of P. So applying the conditions of equilibrium here, what we get, we can see here, applying the first condition, that sigma Fy is 0, we get Ra plus Rb is in terms of PL. We have seen that P is the UDL, the load PL, and that is for the UDL we have considered. And this reaction point load, when we convert it into point load, it is P, and the perpendicular distance is L. So that is how sigma, that Fy, we get the value of force, vertical force is P into L. Similarly, writing down the bending moment equation at point A, we get here the reaction at point B, and the perpendicular distance is 3L, minus the forcing member, this UDL, and its perpendicular distance 3L by 2, that is L plus L by 2, and when we solve it, we get 3L by 2. By solving it, we get the value of Ra in terms of P and L, that is PL by 2. Again, when we apply the condition of equilibrium at point A and consider the vertical forces, we get here that the force in member A sine 45 is equal to the reaction at A. And when we solve it further, we get the equation in terms of PL. Now, again writing the horizontal component, summation of all the forces in horizontal direction, and writing the applying the conditions of equilibrium, we get the force in member AC as the value as minus PL. Now replacing this complete value from this equation Ra, this equation number 1, we get here this value PL. Now since this CE and AD members are, we can see that AC and CD are collinear. So this member force is 0. So this value of this force FCD is equal to FAC, and that is equal to PL, which we have already got. So the correct option you can see here is the option B, right? Now here next problem is there, for which we have to find out the force in the particular member P. This value of P in terms of F at this joint. So again, it is beautiful problem, dear students. You can try the same conditions of equilibrium for this joint. You can write, and you can get the value of all these forces applying this member uh, at this joint P, and we can resolve it. You can see here that we have applied the condition of equilibrium at point P. We have resolved the forces in the horizontal direction. Similarly, we have resolved it in the vertical direction, and we get one equation for a member PR in terms of F. Similarly, when we apply the condition of equilibrium at point Q, we will get another set in terms of F. So that we at point Q our force TR is also acting. So we get the value of TR as 0.63 F. In this way we have obtained the value option B here as a answer. So like that we can apply the method of section in an effective way. Let us see here one of the beam problem, how we can find out the unknown. Here the description of the beam is given. A concentrated load P is acting on a simply supported beam of span L at a distance L by 3 from its left support, and the bending moment we have to find out in terms of P and L. So let us try to visualize the beam, how it will look like. A simply supported beam as acting a load P at a distance L by 3 from the left support, like this, and it is acting at the distance L by 3. The complete length of the span of the member beam is L, and the reactions obviously at point A and B are RA and RB. Now again, this is very simple straightforward problem for applying the for finding out the bending moment at point particular point. We need to find out the reaction at this point RA and RB. So let us write the equation for the conditions of applying the conditions of equilibrium. We get here RA plus RB is equal to P in terms of P. Now taking moment about point A, we get here our purpose taking moment at A is to eliminate RA so that we can find out the value of RB in terms of P. So replacing that value, we get here RB into L since it is anti-clockwise direction, and this one is P, it is creating the clockwise bending moment. Taking it to the other side, we get the value of RB as P by 3. Now putting this value of P by 3 in equation number 1, we get the value of RA as 2P by 3. Now our purpose is to find out the bending moment either by this reaction at this point RA or by this reaction RB at this point P, particular force at point P. So let us take the application of bending moment at the point of application of the load. What we get here, M is equal to RA into L by 3. Since the value of RA is 2P by 3 and the distance is L by 3, we get the value as 2PL by 3. So our answer is option D. Now let us cross check it by taking the bending moment by considering the reaction point B. So if we consider the taking moment by considering reaction B, the perpendicular distance now here is 2L